Hey there. If you want to know what to avoid in life, this is the chapter for you. We are jumping into Proverbs 5 today. Thank you for joining me for your fifth day of gleaning wisdom from the Word of God and from the wisdom that He downloaded to Solomon, who is king king of the Hebrews after King David. This chapter I call a cautionary tale because it is a good example of things that we need to take heed to and avoid if we want success in our lives. So let's hop in. We'll start. Again, I am in the New King James Version, but again, as I say every day, it's important as you study to take a look at different versions of the Bible, different translations. The New Living Translation is one that's really good, that is everyday language that may be a little bit easier if some of the older versions are more difficult as you're just getting started. I really like the NASB. The ESV is a good one, but this one that I have in hard copy right here happens to be New King James. So take a listen and dive in and let me know which verse or two has been most impactful for you. So, verse 1, my son, pay attention to my wisdom. Lend your ear to my understanding, that you may preserve discretion and your lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of an immoral woman drip honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lay hold of hell, lest you ponder her path of life. Her ways are unstable, and you do not know them. Verse 7, therefore hear me now, my children, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Remove your way far from her, and do not go near the door of her house, lest you give honor to others, your years to the cruel one, lest aliens be filled with your wealth, and your labors go to the house of a foreigner, and you mourn at last, when your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, how I have hated instruction, and my heart despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembly and congregation. Verse 15, drink water from your own cistern and running water from your own well. Should your fountains be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets, let them be only of your own and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed and rejoice with the wife of your youth. As a deer and a graceful doe, let her breast satisfy you at all times and always be enraptured with her love. For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman and embraced in the arms of a seductress? Verse 21, for the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all of his paths. His own iniquities entrap the wicked man, and he is caught in the cords of his sin. He shall die for lack of instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. So one of the things that we will find in most of these chapters are the comparison or the juxtaposition of things that go well and things that don't go well. Most of this chapter is about following the immoral woman. In other translations, that word immoral is also listed as strange or foreign or a harlot or a prostitute. So it depends on the translation, but really it's something that is not upright, something that is foreign, something that should be put away. And that is, wisdom is personified as a woman, but so is immorality and disobedience and harlotry is expressed in the form of a woman as well. And so when I say this is a cautionary tale, it really is what the Lord is doing in Proverbs is really showing you a very vivid picture of what happens when you go down the pathway of destruction. Sometimes we don't learn by seeing the positive aspects. Sometimes we learn the hard way. We learn to see when things go poorly and wanting to avoid those things. That helps us to stay on the straight and narrow. So again, the passage starts out with pay attention. The Lord is continually saying, I'm showing you this. focus your energy, focus your time, focus your attention on things that you need to be aware of and be cautious of. Think about when you're raising your children. There's a lot of things that you allow them to do, but you are more forceful, you are more repetitive when you are wanting to keep your children away from danger. Don't run in the street. Don't put your hand on the stove. Don't put a fork in the light socket. Those are things that we know will cause harm to our children. So the Lord is highlighting very passionately, pay attention. Don't do that, because He is trying to help us avoid destruction. The strange woman, the immoral woman, the pathway to unrighteousness drips with honey. It is sweet. It is enticing. The enemy doesn't come to us with a pitchfork and horns, but he comes in something that we desire with our eyes, something we desire with our taste buds, something that is sweet to the taste, but is bitter in the end and leads to death, which is what verse 5 says. In other translations says it leads to Sheol. In verse 7 through 14, it's really interesting because this is where, again, those caution symbols are put up. Entertaining immorality and unrighteousness leads to loss. And so it lists that there's a loss of honor. So when you look up that definition in the Hebrew, honor means splendor, majesty, or vigor. When I think about my current brain, my current definition might be the loss of a reputation. When you do the wrong thing, when you go down the wrong path, you lose credibility in the eyes of your peers. When you're caught in deception, you lose people's trust. So I think that all is baked into that word honor. It also says that there is a loss of years in verse 9, loss of time, loss of expended energy. You spend a lifetime building up credibility, building up a trust in people, and in a moment's time, you lose all of that you have built over time. There's also a loss of wealth, right? When you are going down the path of unrighteousness and immorality and strange things, estranged behavior, Lord, you lose wealth, you lose finances, you lose opportunities. There is a huge opportunity cost when you are doing the wrong thing or going down the wrong path. It also says that there is a loss of your labor to the alien. So it's the fruit of your labor, the things that you've acquired, the resources that you have attained, the things that you have built will be lost to others when you are doing the wrong thing and going the wrong path. And it's only at the end will you come to yourself and recognize the error of your ways. That's when you in verse 12 say, oh, how I've hated instruction. I should have paid attention. I should have listened. I should not have turned away from wise counsel and correction. And I should have listened to my teachers. But you only come to that realization when it's too late. You don't see it as you're making those small decisions over the course of time. It's only at the end when life begins to crumble do you recognize the error of your ways. So again, the Lord is like, don't go down this path. I want to save you from that realization when it's too late. And then when we move down to verse 15 through 20, it talks about drinking from your own cistern. I hear your own a lot, your own cistern, your own well, your own streams. Let them be yours only. I think we get in a habit, especially in this day and stage where people are posting all sorts of things on social media. There's kind of this keeping up with the Joneses and paying attention to what's happening down the street and thinking the grass is greener someplace else, when really we have all that we need. If we have the Lord and we are following wisdom, we can create the life that we want in our own way and not pursuing what we see other people doing. And I think that there is just this draw to not be satisfied with what's in our own house, what's in our own cistern. It even talks about, loving the wife of your youth, right? So when it comes to marriage and infidelity, that's kind of baked in here too. We think that the newest, prettiest, more buff person down the road is going to fulfill us when the spouse of our youth won't fulfill us any longer. And those are just lies. Those are deceptions of the enemy. That's that honey dripping, which turns into bitterness when we get to the end. And then in 22, it talks about a man's iniquity. Actually, let me go back to verse 21. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all of his paths. The Lord sees everything that we do, everything that we do, everything that we say, every choice that we make. He sees into the heart. He sees our intention, and he judges us based on that. And so if we are pursuing success and money and riches and people and relationships and what's green on the other side, the Lord sees the intention of our heart. If those are not true intentions because you want to extend the kingdom or you want to fulfill the purpose that you were designed for, the Lord sees all of that. And he sees where there's iniquity in our hearts. And iniquity is continued perversity and depravity, right? It is the continuous wrong decisions out of unrighteous intention. So the Lord judges and he sees all of that. And all of that leads us down a path of darkness that we will regret. And so I highly encourage you as you're going through this year, as you pick up Proverbs, and I encourage you not just in this 31 days, but throughout the course of your years to continually dive into this, because there's new truths. There's new wisdom. There's new facets of the same word that you've heard over and over again. As you mature, as you change in seasons, that it will mean more to you. So I pray that this has been a blessing to you, that you would take this cautionary tale as one that you want to learn from by hearing and paying attention and not by living. If this has been a blessing to you, please like and share, subscribe so you can keep up with us as we continue. We'll be back tomorrow for Proverbs 6 on day 6. And please share with me in the comments something that's been impactful for you about these messages, or something the Lord has shared with you in your own quiet time. Blessings to you. I'll see you tomorrow for Proverbs 6.